Been up for a couple hours, had several cups of coffee, checked on my internal status. We seem to have stabilized finally. These past few days have left me a bit on the worried side when it came to anatomical combustion, if you know what I mean. But I think everything's coming out just right. Anyway, now that's still trying to recover from her illness. It takes a toll on you when you're in a long haul flight, and there's really not much you can do except fluids and try not to cough too much. She failed miserably in both. And now she lays next to her beloved dogs downstairs. Whilst I, who have been up for a while and have been having several cups of coffee to stay motivated, I'm doing a little touch-up in the house, both outside and in. I'm about to work in the backyard, which seems to have suffered from the winds as of late. So I've got some cleanup to do out there, but I've done quite a bit of cleanup here. Let me show you what I mean. Cleaned up my sink finally, so everything's back to normal. I'd show you Ate sink, which is in this direction, but it's Ate sink, so I'll let that rest. Anyway, this is the shower curtain to the Invincible shower. There's our shower head. It's kind of rainfall look about it. Of course, this piece comes out. And you got different settings as far as how the water is dispersed. The usual accoutrements of soap, shampoo, and conditioner. All the scrubbing tools necessary. More soap and conditioner, most of which belongs to the net. And the ever popular razor for the unsightly hairs here, there, and everywhere. Here's my closet. And as you can tell, I like things in a certain order. All my shirts have been ironed prior to me departing for the Philippines. My shoe rack, majority of shoes I use for work. There's some of the play shoes there. More footwear below. Lots of trousers, because you can never have enough trousers. All my jackets for inclement weather, which is not necessary at this point, because spring is slowly but surely becoming summer. And of course, all the work suits. All lined up in a row, and some of my other casual wear back there, as well as a few costumes. And speaking of costumes, here's the infamous Sir Leslie Patterson suit and tie, and my favorite bit, the kangaroo emblem. The character born of the great comedic actor Barry Humphries of Australia, who's in his 80s and still performs to this day, pulling off Sir Les, and of course his more infamous character of Dame Edna Everage. Ah yes, Top Shelf has all the silicone. This saves quite a bit of time and effort as far as makeup, rather than slapping on all the makeup, and in this case, all these nails one at a time. You just simply slap this on your head. You can still emote because it is silicone. It's quite flexible. Hugs on the face, so it's sort of a second skin. Behind that plastic is the infamous Darth Vader mask I bought from a fellow who makes it in Thailand. It's all fiberglass. Beautiful mask. But heavy to wear. But it looks much better than the plastic one I bought from Walmart, which Mom has now and has been renting out back in Look Bond. Here's all the accoutrements for the costumes, all the accessories required of everything. Look at this. Pellets for the airsoft machine gun I bought as part of the Dick Tracy / Joker accessory. Here's my makeup kit. When I do makeup, needed for the Joker, a 3-hour session to put on that fake smile. All my fedoras. The Dick Tracy hat, of course, is a yellow one, and that's an actual regular hat I wear at work every now and then. And then an assortment of wigs. These two were meant for Leslie Patterson, while the guy in the back here is Mr. Spock. Now we come into the bedroom with my nightstand, potted plant that is still alive. There's the old vlogging camera that I've yet to really use much of, because the laptop I brought was completely useless when it came to editing. Not strong enough really to do video. The infamous painting I bought many years ago at work, when they offered these paintings with frame, of Paris and the Eiffel Tower in the background. And speaking of Eiffel Tower, the bedding is Parisian themed, emphasizing the Eiffel Tower, of course. My pajamas that I wore last night, On top of the stool, the infamous mirror. Sort of a one last look before we go to work, make sure everything's in order. An old Valentine teddy bear, several actually. There's Nanette's accessory cabinet for all her stuff. Speaking of her stuff, there's her drawer with all the other stuff, as well as her dirty clothes hamper. My blessed TV. We don't have cable. We got rid of that years ago. We just use online television. I use Roku units. ROKU for those interested. It's a little box that allows you to enjoy internet access television and other websites and applications. I love it. Another house plan above with these two Bluetooth speakers that are meant for outdoors, but I keep them indoors for now until we have parties, if we ever have parties. And here's my drawer. Candle lit, so I can make this place smell better than it was after I left, that is. And all my stuff here. And behind it, I actually have some stuff for good old Darth Vader and the like that I can't fit in my closet. So it sits back there collecting dust. Anyway, this is where I hang out at night. Well, it's evening time now here at the Cabano Homestead. And I thought I'd take this time to show you yet another room. This particular room housed my late father until his untimely demise. He spent his last breathing moments in this room. It is now dedicated to him, and we consider this a game/guest room. Here's the status board we used when he was alive to maintain all his stats, as well as all his intake of meds and food. Sad, really, but I told everyone to keep this board up to remind me of my failure as a son to keep him alive. And now we head into the room. That mirror in front of us was basically one of the furnishings that my late mother had stuffed away in one of the storage closets that they owned. They had two of them, paid rent monthly, to maintain a whole bunch of junk and some personal items. This is one of the few pieces we kept. It suffered some water damage, as I discovered earlier today, courtesy of this plant. When you overflow the pot, the water just spills over in the bottom drip. It goes into the wood, and eventually the wood gives way. So I'm going to have to fix that. Don't think I can, really, other than to clean it up. But anyway, it's a nice piece. Used to be in this position here, where this stool is, which contains usually these two guys. And eventually, once everything clears out of here, we can put this and this together, and should anyone want to play a board game or cards or what have you, we can seat quite a bit of people. This is the Bollock Bion box that Nanette was working on prior to our departure for vacation these past 2 weeks. Never got around to it. She was in a bit of a rush to grab as much as she could out of the box and stick in these guys. One's already empty and is being prepared for storage. Speaking of, there's some more things we brought back from the Philippines. Here's the drawer my father used, and now it's available for any guests that might be in to visit. Speaking of parents, these are my late parents. The old man left, obviously, with the old lady on the right. Here's Nanette's parents. There is Gregoria to the left, still kicking, and regrettably Marcelino on the right, who passed on quite a while away. This room is Asian themed. Most of the decor is set to replicate that particular theme. Closet, mostly occupied by Nanette's clothes. The night light, nightstand, trash, more stuff from the Philippines. Some of this stuff needs to be delivered to other folks. This is a sofa bed. It's a love seat slash single bed that pulls out of the seat. Again, for guests. More Asian oriented stuff. These I picked up when I was still on active duty during my travels overseas. It's made out of cork, really nice pieces. These pieces, except for the one in the middle, were in the storage bin again in my mother and father's storage spaces that they rented. These things, I believe we purchased over time. That's something from Nanette's store, and of course our modem. And these are the wireless transmitters to maintain connectivity throughout the house. I purchased this cherry blossom painting specifically for this room to match the decor, because I also have bedding that looks similar to this, as well as a nightlight. This window faces the front of the house, overlooking the garage. And this is what was my parents' old TV that I bought as a gift for them. They had a relic of a television. It was very heavy and very thick. I told them, you need to catch up with the rest of us, so I bought this for them from Walmart. And I had bought this chassis off eBay because they don't make these anymore. This is the same brand as a TV. And above it, my favorite Roku unit. And of course, the cabinet housing all the DVDs we've collected. I don't buy DVDs as of late. I find that you really don't watch movies that often. At least I don't. So to buy a DVD only means that I'm just going to have it sit in the shelf forever. Here's some more Asian decor and some make-believe weaponry. I think this piece replicates the sword used in I can't remember the movie, but it was a rather popular kung fu flick as of late. Another piece there. And that's it. The room is ready once all the stuff goes away for visitors. It's almost 7 in the morning on a Wednesday here in Vegas. In my garage, which I just removed the vehicle there to the driveway, so that I can work out here. In this ample space, with that television on to YouTube, to a favorite aerobics video I use quite often from the mid-2000s. But before I do that, I'm going to have to do something that I rarely but have to do in order to get my freak on. I'll show you what I mean. I've got to restring my axe, because before I left for vacation I broke what would have been the E string right in this pathway here. So I have to remove these 5 remaining strings and replace them with a brand new set of 6. But to remove them I use this. And then to tighten everything on the heads, I use that. And this towel is going to actually keep this bit here from flying all over the place after I snip it right about here or here. So here we go. Part 1 complete. And there is the remaining bits from the tail end. And of course this bridge always slides out. And these guys, along with the longer counterparts, go in the garbage. So the guitar is now string free. And I'm about to put on the new strings. After removing the strings, they are still all wrapped in an individual packet based on the gauge. The thicker the gauge, the lower the note, obviously. And this fella is the low E, and this one on the end is a high. And everybody else will be placed in between in sequence. And let me get that done. Okay, I've got the first 5 strings done. Of course, it's not tuned yet. I've got to get the 6th one on. So I'm going to attempt to do a bit of this with just one hand. Starting with sticking this into this boosh right here. Let's see if we can get this in here. Don't know if you can see that. Trying to get it right in this last hole. And have it come out the other end. And grabbing it real quick and having it come up. It's got to lay right on this groove here. But that's not my biggest concern. The base bit, making sure it winds correctly on this head. So, once again, another hole to find. It's in the hole. And now I'm going to tighten it. I'm going to need 2 hands on this, so I'll get back to you when I get this one strung up. And then we'll start tuning. Alright, it looks like a mess right now, but everything is in sync. All the strings are in place. They're wound in the proper manner for easy tuning. They've all lined up on these grooves here. And with the bases all flush. Time for some tuning. Let there be rock. Drums. There was drums.